Rick Harrison, the legendary figure behind Pawn Stars, has built an empire on uncovering rare treasures and sealing jaw-dropping deals. However, nothing could have prepared him for the devastating reality he now faces. At 59, the reality TV mogul has confirmed a truth that no one saw coming: his son's life sentence is real. The shocking revelation has sent waves through the Pawn Stars community, leaving fans stunned and eager to understand how things took such a drastic turn. How did it come to this? What led to such a tragic outcome? And most importantly, what does this mean for the Harrison family's future? Join us as we delve into the heartbreaking story behind this unforeseen crisis. At the heart of Pawn Stars was Richard "Old Man" Harrison, a 77-year-old veteran and businessman who co-founded the iconic pawn shop in Las Vegas. With decades of experience and a no-nonsense attitude, he quickly became a fan favorite and the undisputed authority in the shop. His signature gruff yet wise approach to negotiations captivated audiences, making him an unforgettable presence on the show. However, when he passed away in 2018, everything changed, for both the family and the business. His son, Rick Harrison, had been the driving force behind turning the pawn shop into a television phenomenon. Rick had always understood that pawn brokering was more than just buying and selling; it was about the stories behind the items. Whether it was a rare antique worth millions or a fascinating collectible, the true value often lay in its history rather than its price tag. He built the gold and silver pawn shop from the ground up, relying on a foundational understanding of gold and silver. In the early days, turning a profit was a struggle, as he often loaned out more money than he earned. However, his perseverance and growing expertise allowed him to establish a solid reputation in the industry. Everything changed in 2009 when the History Channel launched Pawn Stars, a reality show that gave viewers a front-row seat to the captivating world of pawn brokering. The series followed Rick, his father Richard, his son Coy, Big Hoss Harrison, and Coy's best friend Austin "Chumlee" Russell as they navigated the unpredictable business. One day, customers would walk in with rare comic books; the next, they would claim to have ancient Egyptian artifacts. The daily unpredictability made the job thrilling and the show incredibly addictive to watch. But Pawn Stars wasn't just about the items, it was about the people. Fans adored the playful banter between Rick and his father, while Chumlee's goofy antics added comedic relief. As the show's popularity soared, the pawn shop transformed from a simple business into a cultural landmark. However, behind the scenes, family tensions were brewing, ultimately spilling into a bitter legal battle. According to USA Today, Rick's mother, Joanne Harrison, filed a lawsuit against him over disputes regarding family assets and ownership of the gold and silver pawn shop. What had started as a family-run business had turned into a battleground for control and inheritance. Joanne's legal team filed a civil lawsuit in Nevada State Court, naming Rick Harrison and several associated business entities as defendants. These included Harrison Properties, Joe Rick Properties, and other financial interests tied to the pawn shop. The lawsuit centered around a breach of contract claim that traced back to Joanne's marriage to Richard Harrison, which lasted 58 years. The suit alleged that in the early 2000s, while Joanne was recovering from a hospitalization and emerging from Alcoholics Anonymous, Rick had convinced her to sign over her 51% ownership of the pawn shop. Later, when she fully grasped what had happened, she insisted that she had been in no condition to make such a financial decision. The legal battle intensified after Richard's passing in 2018. Joanne was supposed to inherit his remaining 49% stake in the business. However, she claimed that Rick had withheld critical financial documents, preventing her from accessing over $500,000 in cash and silver that Richard had accumulated before his death. As the lawsuit progressed, Rick's financial empire faced serious jeopardy. The legal action demanded not only unspecified damages and a comprehensive financial audit, but also a court order preventing Rick from using any funds that rightfully belonged to Joanne. Additionally, she sought to place a constructive trust over the property that was in dispute. In response to these allegations, Rick firmly denied the claims in an interview with the Las Vegas Review-Journal, suggesting that his 81-year-old mother was being manipulated by others with ulterior motives. However, this legal battle was just one of many challenges threatening the Harrison family business. According to the Daily Mail, the gold and silver pawn shop, which typically generated over $1 million in annual revenue, took a massive financial hit in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, bringing in only $37,000. Despite this financial hardship, Joanne continued her legal fight and escalated her actions by filing a restraining order against Rick. She aimed to prevent him from selling off family assets and also alleged that he had stopped sending her the payments she was entitled to from Richard's share of the business. Initially, Rick had been providing Joanne with $225,000 in regular payments, but in 2020, those payments abruptly ceased. This turn of events led many to speculate that Rick was struggling emotionally, possibly battling depression. Constant anger and noticeable hair loss fueled rumors that he was dealing with severe stress. Some even joked that he might be experiencing the longest case of male menopause in history. Frustrated by the financial uncertainty and Rick's lack of communication, Joanne took legal action. She sought not only to reinstate her payments through the court system but also to ensure that Rick could not hide or deplete the family's assets. Yet, there was more to this unfolding saga than met the eye. Reports indicate that Joanne, at the age of 81, was struggling with severe health issues that necessitated constant medical care, an expense that skyrocketed to an overwhelming $115,000 per month. However, what truly blindsided Rick was how he discovered the restraining order. Instead of hearing it from Joanne herself or her legal team, he was caught off guard by news reports. Stunned by this revelation, he made numerous attempts to reach out to her over the following months, hoping to find a fair resolution that would benefit them both. Despite his relentless efforts, he was unable to establish contact with her. It seemed as though the complete breakdown in communication had created an impassable roadblock, making any form of negotiation virtually impossible. Were they now trapped in a never-ending legal battle with no foreseeable resolution? Let's delve deeper into the situation. Austin "Chumlee" Russell, one of the most recognizable faces from porn stars, has faced his share of scandals. Back in 2012, TMZ reported that he was involved in a physical altercation with a man in Hollywood, which was caught on camera. The brawl ended with Chumlee walking away while the other man lay battered and bleeding on the pavement. However, Chumlee defended his actions, claiming that he had acted in self-defense after the man threatened to pull a gun on him and his friends. According to him, he had merely reacted on instinct. Despite escaping major repercussions from that incident, his luck ran out a few years later in 2016 when the situation took a much darker turn. As reported by the Chicago Tribune, Chumlee found himself facing multiple felony charges, 20 in total. He managed to avoid jail time for drug and firearm possession, but the penalties he faced were still severe. His troubles began when police conducted a raid on his Las Vegas residence while investigating allegations of sexual assault against him. Although the sexual assault charges were eventually dropped, the search led to an even bigger discovery. Law enforcement found illegal substances, including meth, marijuana, and prescription pills, as well as an unregistered firearm. Las Vegas police spokesperson Larry Hadfield confirmed that authorities were thoroughly investigating the complaint made against Chumlee. For someone who had built a reputation as the fun-loving, slightly clueless sidekick on porn stars, the revelations about his off-screen activities shocked fans and left his future hanging by a thread. As TMZ reported, Chumlee was facing an alarming 19 charges related to drug possession and an additional weapons charge. With the weight of the evidence stacked against him, he ultimately had no choice but to take a plea deal in an attempt to avoid a lengthy prison sentence. He pleaded guilty to felony firearm possession and attempted drug possession, a gross misdemeanor. Though he avoided incarceration, the ordeal cast a long shadow over his career and personal life. Chumlee wasn't the only porn star's cast member to face controversy. Rick's son, Corey "Big Hoss" Harrison, also made headlines for all the wrong reasons. He had long been determined to take over the family business, but his personal troubles continually got in the way. During a motorcycle tour stop in Jefferson City, his behavior at a local bar named Spectators spiraled out of control. Witnesses reported that Corey had been binge drinking for an entire week before the incident. The situation reached its peak when he shocked bar patrons by urinating in public and throwing a bar stool across the room. He was immediately ejected from the establishment, and the scandal quickly became public knowledge. Recognizing the damage to his reputation, Corey issued a public apology in an attempt to mend his image. However, trouble seemed to follow him wherever he went. In 2021, he once again found himself embroiled in controversy, this time due to a legal dispute over an RV rental. According to TMZ, Corey had rented an RV for a trip to the California desert in 2020. But instead of returning it on time and in good condition, the vehicle's owner, William Volano, claimed that Corey's assistant called a day late to inform him of an accident. To make matters worse, it took another 2 days before the RV was finally returned, and when it arrived, it was in shambles. The damages went beyond a minor fender bender. Reports claimed that the awning was completely torn off, and the interior was a disaster zone, littered with empty bottles, eggs, and unidentifiable debris. TMZ estimated the repair costs to be around $30,000. On top of that, Volano claimed he had to cancel 10 reservations due to the RV being unusable, which cost him additional revenue. He accused Corey of refusing to take financial responsibility, leaving him no choice but to involve the police. As media attention intensified, Corey's representatives attempted to downplay the situation. They claimed that the RV's slide-out sections had malfunctioned, making it undrivable, which was why Corey had arranged for it to be towed. His insurance company was reportedly handling the matter. While Corey was able to sidestep serious legal consequences, the controversy further damaged his public image. Legal troubles weren't the only battles he was fighting. Corey's personal life had been a rollercoaster, especially when it came to his health. By 2010, concerns over his weight led him to undergo gastric bypass surgery, which helped him shed over 100 pounds. However, maintaining his health while balancing the pressures of fame and managing the pawn shop remained a constant struggle. Despite the numerous challenges, one silver lining remained: his friendship with Chum Lee. Their bond stayed strong through the years, and Corey's transformation served as an inspiration to his longtime friend. Even in the face of scandal and adversity, the two continued to navigate the unpredictable world of porn stars together. Chum Lee also embarked on his own journey toward weight loss, experiencing moments of success along the way. However, just when things seemed to be improving, unexpected challenges arose. Amidst all this, Candy made an appearance, adding an element of fun to the mix. After all, what could be more enjoyable than Candy, right? But was that the end of the troubles, or were there more obstacles to face? Let's take a deeper dive into the controversies surrounding the experts of porn stars. For years, porn stars captivated audiences with its blend of history, unique discoveries, and the dynamic personalities of Rick, Corey, and Chum Lee. While these three were the show's main attraction, much of its appeal came from the experts who evaluated the rare and valuable items that passed through the shop. These specialists became beloved figures, impressing fans with their vast knowledge on everything from ancient coins to autographed memorabilia. However, not all of them maintained an unblemished reputation. Some found themselves embroiled in scandals, casting doubt on their credibility and even tarnishing the show's authenticity. One such expert was Johnny Jimenez Jr., well known for his expertise in vintage toys. At the pawn shop, the inventory changed weekly, sometimes featuring rare collectibles like the Atomic Energy Lab, which even contained radioactive material. However, Jimenez made headlines for all the wrong reasons when he was caught on camera allegedly assaulting his girlfriend outside a restaurant in Las Vegas. The footage, obtained by TMZ, depicted what appeared to be a heated confrontation, and the controversy quickly damaged his reputation. He later defended himself, claiming he was merely trying to assist his intoxicated girlfriend after a night of partying. But the damage was already done. His credibility as an expert suffered a severe blow. Another significant blunder came from John Resnikoff, a specialist in autograph authentication. Introducing himself as the owner of University Archives, where he dealt with rare autographs and conducted authentication work, he had built a solid reputation in his field. However, in 2011, Resnikoff made a major error when he misidentified a signature on a script from The Godfather. With confidence, he declared that the autograph belonged to legendary actor Al Pacino, only for it to be later revealed as the signature of producer Al Ruddy. While some dismissed it as a minor mistake, others questioned whether similar errors had gone unnoticed in the past. Yet, the biggest scandal of all surfaced in 2015, involving sports memorabilia expert Drew Maximum. Unlike Resnikov's simple misidentification, Max faced allegations of outright fraud. In New Jersey, he was accused of certifying counterfeit sports memorabilia, which was then sold at auctions, deceiving unsuspecting buyers who had relied on his expertise. As enraged customers realized they had been scammed, lawsuits followed. Max was accused of leveraging his Pawn Stars fame to establish credibility in the collectibles industry, only to exploit that trust for personal gain. This controversy sent shockwaves through the show's reputation. Fans began to question just how many other items featured on Pawn Stars had been inaccurately authenticated. While some argued that occasional mistakes were inevitable, few were willing to defend Max's actions. His deception didn't just cost people money, it also tarnished the show's credibility. As these scandals piled up, Pawn Stars began to change. Initially, the show was a fascinating blend of history and entertainment, with Rick and his team providing valuable insights into rare and intriguing items. The thrill of never knowing what might walk through the shop's doors was part of its charm. One day, a medieval sword, the next, a signed Beatles album. But over time, the show started to feel less authentic. Reports surfaced claiming that many of the sellers and their items were pre-selected, and that appraisals were often conducted in advance. This removed the element of spontaneity that had once drawn viewers in. Even the lively banter between cast members, once natural and amusing, began to feel scripted. Rather than focusing on historical artifacts, the show gradually leaned into personal drama. Fans who had initially tuned in to learn about valuable collectibles and their origins found themselves watching a reality show that resembled a soap opera. The once genuine cast members started to appear as exaggerated versions of themselves, Rick as the no-nonsense businessman, Coy as the ambitious yet sometimes naive heir, and Chumley as the comedic relief whose off-screen legal troubles made his on-screen persona less convincing. As if the scandals and shifting content weren't enough, Pawn Stars also faced challenges in expanding its brand. Seeing an opportunity to capitalize on the show's success, Rick launched Pawn Plaza, a retail and dining complex near the pawn shop. The idea was that fans visiting Pawn Stars would also stop by the plaza, bringing in additional business. However, the venture failed. Many businesses within Pawn Plaza struggled due to low foot traffic, and frustrated shop owners later accused Rick of failing to promote the location adequately. What was supposed to be a thriving extension of Pawn Stars turned into a financial misstep, leading to multiple closures and lawsuits from former tenants. If an expert could misidentify something as iconic as The Godfather, what other mistakes had been made on the show? This raised serious concerns about the legitimacy of the appraisals and the trustworthiness of the experts. Pawn Stars was more than just a reality show, it revolutionized television. What started as a small, family-run pawn shop in Las Vegas grew into a global sensation, drawing millions of viewers. The show introduced audiences to the fascinating world of antiques, rare collectibles, and historical artifacts, transforming everyday transactions into compelling narratives. The charm of Pawn Stars lay in its simplicity, a group of relatable individuals navigating extraordinary items, each with its own rich history. It wasn't just about buying and selling, it was about uncovering the past, mastering negotiation, and embracing the unpredictability of what might appear next. Yet, fame comes at a cost. As Pawn Stars rose to prominence, so did the controversies surrounding it. Legal troubles, behind-the-scenes conflicts, and doubts about the authenticity of appraisals gradually overshadowed its once spotless reputation. A show that had educated and entertained millions became a cautionary tale about the pitfalls of fame and the challenges of maintaining an impeccable public image. Despite these setbacks, Pawn Stars remains one of the most influential reality television shows of all time. It turned an ordinary pawn shop into an iconic destination and transformed its cast members into celebrities recognized worldwide. At what point did they realize their lives had changed forever? Beyond a simple pawn shop, Pawn Stars became a testament to American entrepreneurship, resilience, and the enduring appeal of uncovering hidden treasures. Although its future remains uncertain, its impact on popular culture is undeniable, and its legacy will continue to spark curiosity for years to come. What are your thoughts on Rick Harrison's recent confirmation of his son's life sentence? Share your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.